Afternoon! Yeah, it's a funny old time this lockdown, but what I thought I would do is go through some of the finds that I've had over the years. A lot of the time I try and research them either quickly in the field or when I get home, and then I might put up a title on the screen of what it is. Maybe in the comment section below I might put it what it is. But sometimes you guys never know what it is I've found, the dates, the origins, or actually what the item was. And it's just one of those things that I never get round to updating people. If you want to know, I might have found a hammer coin and I might have not quite known the king, or there could have been an artefact, got a few on the table, when it was made, what it was for even. So today I'm going to go through some of my preferred pieces. I've got some of my favourite pieces here. I made another video. I've got well over 100 documented pieces that I've given in. I've got a folder here to the Portable Antiquity Scheme, and then I get them back. And that's the other thing, when I give them in, it's a 3 or 4 month process sometimes before I get it back, and even I know what it is. So I might mention it in a video, but it would have been found months before. So this video I'm just going to go over some of the things I found. I'll give you some info on what it is, the dates, origins, uses, and I'll put in the description below, hopefully I'll try and get some timestamps in of each item, what it is, and then a link to the original video when I found it. That way, if you want, you can go back and watch me find the item that I've got here cleaned, dated and logged. Because some of the hunts a couple of years ago, they were some of my favourite hunts. There was hammer coins everywhere. I had a good streak over about 18 months of hammer coins. I've got a case on the wall here with some more in. As I say, this is a selection. There will be more. If you want another video with a different lot of coins and relics and artefacts, I'll do another one. I have plenty more to go through, but we're going to start with what we got down there. We've got a caterpillar Saxon brooch. I'll do some close-ups of each thing and I'll talk over the close-ups. Yeah, we've got a caterpillar brooch. It's from the 7 to 900 AD. I didn't know what that was at the time. I gathered it was something to do with clothing because it's got a pin fastening. The pin is actually missing. And then not long after I found the Saxon caterpillar brooch, I had a square-headed, gold gilded, again Saxon brooch. That one was slightly earlier. That's 410 to 550 AD, early medieval. Again, there'll be links to the videos at the bottom, so if you want to see me find these, head back. Then we come to, I have a Saxon skeet. With that skeet I also found on the same day a hammered Edward penny and a Roman coin. I don't find many Roman artefacts. Saxon skeet is a Soroldo, or it's commonly known as a porcupine skeet. It is in very fine condition. It's a small little coin, which probably helped the reason it was found in that condition. It's one of my favourite coins. It's up there in the top 5. I do really like it. That was around about 700 to 710 AD. So just after the Romans had gone. But also on the same morning I found a Constantine II, was it 331 to 337 AD, a Numus. That was a little coin. I had 3 good finds, and there was an Edward hammered. If you go back and check that video out, you'll see me find all 3. Yeah, that was one of my favourite hunts. I don't know why, it was just a good morning. Yeah, it was a really good day, that one. So that one is worth checking out. Go back and check that video out. There'll be a link in the bottom. Sticking with the Anglo-Saxons, I have, this is one of my favourite finds. I don't know why. This is in the top 5 of my favourite things I've ever found. It's a zoomorphic cosmetic mortar, possibly used to apply facial paint. There would have been a pestle half with it. The head is of a beast. I don't really know what, it looks like it's got horns, and then the loop tail at the end could also double up as a swan's head. It's a really good example of a zoomorphic Saxon mortar. The flow was really interested with this one, and it's just something that I just really like. It's a personal item, mate, that's why I like it. Again, sticking with the Saxon theme, I've got 3 different, one of which I haven't given in to the flow yet. I've got to do that after lockdown, whenever the next meeting is. I had a four-way harness fitting, and then I've got a pair of 2-way harness fittings, normally on the bridle. The 4-way one is 1100 to 1150 AD, and I think they all date to very similar ages. I quite like finding them. I think I've got another one somewhere else, but these are the 3 I've got here are the better ones, and I've had 2 of them dated, and the 3rd one I've got to drop that one in next time. I had a surface find. This surface find is in my top 5 favourite things. I'm not sure if it's it could be my favourite thing I've ever found, and it's not even metal, but I did find it on a detecting hunt. It was sitting on the surface. I didn't really talk about it much in the video. I picked it up, I had to look at it. I dated it roughly, from a bit of research at home, at about 10,000 years old. Turns out it's a lot more. And this excited the flow. When I gave this in, I didn't get it back for nearly a year. He'd never seen one, let alone held one. From the Paleolithic era. Are you ready? 40,000 to 60,000 BC. It is handmade, but it's not man-made. There you go, this is why I like it. It's not made by modern human. It was the crossover kind of period with Neanderthal man. So it wasn't even made by the way humans look now. That just blows my mind. And that it was sitting on the surface. It is complete, it's not broken, it's a spearhead, or they call it a Mosterian point. I think that's how you say it. It's not broken, it's been finished and completed and just dropped. And it was exposed through weathering. It was sitting on the surface. In the video I see it and I don't touch it, and I actually take it off the surface. And I don't really give it its due. It's an awesome find, and I'll probably donate it to a museum one day once I've finished liking it. But yeah, that's pride of place in my cabinet with my other finds, that one. We will move on. We've got a bit of Roman next. I've got 2 bits of Roman. My very first Roman coin is a radiate coin. I didn't catch this one on video. I don't know if I was doing YouTube then. It was close to when I started. It's a Victorious 269 to 271 AD, and it's pierced in the top. I don't know why it was pierced in the top, whether it was worn as a piece of jewellery before, during the Roman time or after, they don't know. That was my first Roman coin, and then underneath it I have another Roman coin, probably my best Roman coin I've ever found. So I don't find many, I've probably found about 10 ever, and they're never great. But the next one, it's a Soliloquy. It's a silver Roman coin, and I found that near where I find a lot of Saxon. I think it was near where I found the Rhode Pestle, actually. I don't think it was the same video, but again there will be a link at the bottom. It's been slightly clipped, so they don't know whether the Saxons had hold of it and used it as a precious metal and clipped some of the edging off. Yeah, that is 378 to 388. That's quite a good date, and on one side it's got a victory with a globe, winged victory with a globe. Tiny little coin, but it's not bad condition. It's not the best condition, but yeah, it's the only Roman silver I've ever had, and one of the few Roman coins I've ever had. I don't get many Roman artefacts in general. I have a couple. I have part of a Roman ring, not in this video. I can always put that into another video, some other Roman coins, if anyone wants to see them. I'll do a similar video. Next we have probably my favourite hammered coin, or medieval hammered coin, because really the skeet is still hammered or struck, as well as my gold coin. That's not here today. I can get that, and I can put that into a video, and we can talk about that and other things if you want to see the gold hammered coin. It's a lot older, it's a Tremis. This one, medieval silver, it's not English either. It is Venetian, and they reckon it was brought over by trading fleets and traded in this country. It was minted around 1501 to 1521, and at that time there was a shortage in small change, and it was about the same size as I think a halfpenny at the time, and was commonly used instead of the halfpenny. It had the same sort of silver weight to it, and it was also known as a galley halfpenny, and it is a very fine example of one. Again, probably because it's so small, it doesn't get battered around that much. Again, that was a good hunt. I'm pretty sure I had more than one hammer coin on that day. So if you want to see that video, there'll be a link to that one at the bottom. Yeah, that's one of my favourites, that. I do really like it, mainly because it's tiny. Next up, we have my very first large hammered coin, like a dustbin lid hammered coin. It was a new permission. It was, I think, second or first day of the new year. Frosty, freezing. I'd been detecting all morning, and this coin was pretty much where I put my bag, and it was the last point of the field I detected. As I was going back to my bag, it was right next to my bag, about 2 inches under the surface in a paddock. It was ridiculous. Yeah, first large hammer coin I've ever had. About 3 years ago now. It's a Charles I sixpence, minted 1641 to 1643, and that one was minted in the Tower Mint in London. It's been clipped a little bit, but not bad condition, not bad. The theory was it's got a bit of wear on the face. It was either used as a lucky charm, or they were trying to deface the king's head, Charles's head, off the coin by rubbing it. But you can still see him on there. Yeah, that was good. That was an exciting day. I did like that, and that field was packed with stuff, all kinds of stuff. Good hunts in that field. That served me well. Tiny bit of land, tons of stuff. Just goes to show, anywhere you go, you can find stuff. I have another hammer coin up next. That will probably be one of my best condition hammered coins, medieval hammer coins I've ever found. And for a large hammered, for it not to be bent in any way, it's not scuffed, it hasn't been scratched, came out the floor like it was minted. It was amazing. That was Elizabeth I large hammered sixpence, 1558 to 1603. The date on it is 1580, and that one is classed as very fine condition. Again, it looks amazing for how old it is and how big it is to be churned around in that field for 400 years. Yeah, that's good. And that one was minted, they reckon, between 1561 and 1582, and that was also in the Tower Mint in London. Right, we'll move on to something slightly different. I have a seal matrix. I like this. It's had, obviously, the seal matrix pressed into it, and this is the lead seal that seal matrix was pressed in. It's got fleur-de-lis on one side. On the other side, they can't quite make out the name, but they can make out the second part, and whoever he was the son of Robert, and I like that. It's a bit personal. So whoever he was the son of someone called Robert, and they date that to about 1200 to 1350 AD. So around about one of the Edwards was reigning then. Yeah, I don't know, it's another, it's strange how things just pop out, and you kind of like them. They're completely different. It's a lead matrix seal, but yeah, something different to throw in to what I've got on the table. After that, some of my favourite finds I like to get are jettons and tokens. I don't know why, because they're not coins, they're just something slightly different, but they have that little bit of history to them. It's not, sometimes they're not as easy to find out what they are. Trade tokens or counting tokens, depending on what they were used for. This one I had in another one of mine. It was a brilliant 2 or 3 hunts in that field. Stuff was coming up all over the place. I can't go back there now, they've built on it. So everything that I didn't pull out the floor is now gone. There's houses on it. But this one, this was a Jetton from around the Edward III time, and they reckon this Jetton is 1327 to 1399. It could have been also Richard II, he reigned as well. So somewhere in between that. It was great. I mean, the morning I found out I'd crashed my car as well, or someone had crashed into me, I should say, it wasn't my fault. But rather than turn around and go home, I carried on, went to the field, and it was a great morning. It was a great morning. And I had that Jetton, and I think I had 1 or 2 Edward Hammards, which put that in the same date. So that's good, I like that. It's a long cross and pelleted Jetton. Never found one like it before. Again, from the same field, it's another zoomorphic kind of thing. It's a stirrup mount. It's only half a stirrup mount. It's got a beast's face, and you can make out his face. He's got eyes, and there's 2 holes for rivets at the top, and it would have been on your horse leatherware. Yeah, that's Anglo-Scandinavian. That's dated around about 1000 to 1140 AD. So that's early medieval, that one. And that's something else I quite like. I display that in the cupboard. Something different, something don't normally find stirrup mounts, and that's quite a nice one, even though it is only half of one. What we got next? We've got a snake buckle. I've had a few snake buckles. More recent they are. I mean, they span about 400 years, I think, snake buckles, and both ones have broken where they were fastened. The ones I've got, and this one in particular, comes from around about the 1600s, probably used to fasten a sword scabbard or something of that nature, and it's in the shape of a snake with a serpent's head. It does have some detailing to it. I think this one I found in the World War I dump field. It was across the footpath, and this one is dated 1550 to 1625, so it was earlier. They do carry on up to the 1800s, so that's when they start to be used by more people for different things, but this one they've dated earlier, so probably a sword scabbard buckle. Next up, we've got another buckle. This one is 14th century. I can't find the video to link this one to. I know where I found it. I just can't find the video. I quite like it because it's small and it's made up of more than just a buckle and a pin. It's got mounting plates, copper plates, and it would have sandwiched some leather in it. So it's dated around 1350 to 1450. It surprises me that it all stays together. I found a buckle a bit bigger recently, but it was missing all the plate work that was with it. So yeah, I thought I'd put this one in as something different, because we do find a lot of buckles as detectorists. Coming to the end, next we've got another hammer coin. This hammer coin, I like love tokens. I went for a spate of finding a lot of love tokens, but they were always milled silver. Normally Williams, I think I had an Anne, but generally King William. Yeah, they were normally his, and I found quite a few in one area, and then I found a Queen Anne one. This one is a hammered coin, and it's a Charles II half groat. I haven't got a Charles II half groat, and this one's bent into an S shape. You'll see, and it's a love token, so that was a double bonus for me. I found this one with the big orange Watt coil, and that's a big coil, and it picks up a lot of targets, or can pick up a lot of targets in one go. But I remember that ringing out like nothing, and it's a tiny, tiny little hammered silver coin. Dated 1660 to 1662. I don't have the mint on this one. No, I don't have the mint on that one. But yeah, that's a cool little hammered coin. It doubles up as a love token. Next up we have a, this is something, again I cannot find the video to this, but it's a cool little item and I think I overlooked it in one of my roundups. It probably got put with the junk that wasn't rubbish. I separate from finds to junk to lead and then actual rubbish. The actual rubbish goes in the bin. What I call junk I hold on to. It can be a mismatch of all kinds of weird bits of metal until I get it home and give it a real good clean, and even then I don't like to throw a lot of stuff away because I will still take in a bundle to the flow. Sometimes he will pick through it and he will pick out something and go, do you know what that is? And it will be something. And I've got a feeling I took this in not knowing anything about it in a bundle of bits and bobs that I had, and he picked it out. And yeah, this is an Anglo-Saxon dress pin. It's snapped. I've still got, there's still a tiny little bit of the pin left, but it's a dot and circle or ring and dot pattern on the bulb at the top, dating from 700 to 900 AD. So yeah, just after the Romans had gone on their merry way. So that's over 1,000 years old. And yeah, it was in me junk pile, but I didn't throw it away. I've got pots and pots of stuff that you can't see at the moment. It's all over there. A lot of it is bagged. I've bagged it, and then a lot of these things have been bagged or put in coin holders or little pots, because these are the special items, if you like, that I keep separate from all the odds and ends, the usual stuff we find that isn't worthy of recording, but I hold on to it. And we're going to finish, almost finish. I've got two buttons. One is just an 18th century button, but I don't know, I really liked it when I found it. The other one is a Tudor button from the 17th century, so it's from the 1600s. It's got a floral pattern in it, and it was gold gilded at one point. There's still some gold gild in it. I keep nearly all my buttons I ever find, but there are certain ones that stand out. I've got a couple more. I think they're Tudor as well. One's a starburst pattern. That's really cool, but this one's floral, and it's just such a nice big button. It does have detail if you get right in close. But that one's recorded, and yeah, I've kept that one out from the rest. Lastly, end of the video, we have the last hammer coin I found, and I found it with the Equinox 800. I started 2019, first hunt. I had a Jetton, which was French. It's not on the table, it's in the cupboard. And I think I had this coin. I had two good finds. Again, I've never had one of these before. This is an Edward IV half groat. One side, it was a bit crumpled. I did flatten it out. It wasn't a love token. It had just been crumpled by a plough. And I heated it and flattened it between two pieces of granite and cloth, and flattened it out as much as I could. And it came out really well. I don't advocate flattening out coins, sometimes they can break, but I'd already preheated that one slightly. Yeah, that was dated 1465 to 1470. It's a long cross design, and again, it was minted in the London Mint. One side is slightly worn, again that's plough damage I think, and one side is really good. But that was the last hammered I'd found. Since then I haven't really been in fields with hammers. I have fields that hammers come up on, but last year I do like my military. Tons of military stuff hanging about indoors. So I was on the World War One dump field, the World War One training camp, the World War One grenade field. Yeah, and then there was another field I was in, and there was a lot of military there, plus the beach I was digging military. I'm happy to do that. I know it doesn't vary the finds too much, but again I can pop some of them out on the table for another video. I have a military find here. I'm not going to talk about it, but if you want to see that in a video, that was a dog tag. Yeah, it's just one of them things I'm going to hold on to, and I will try and return that to the owner. But again, I can feature that in another video if you do so wish. that is it. It's just something to do while lockdown. I'm sorting out my finds, and they are catalogued. I do like to catalogue stuff. I've got paperwork coming out ears, but that's me. But I thought I would share some of them with you, and links to all the videos that these were in, bar about 2 or 3 items, I'll put in the bottom. And some of them were awesome hunts, and they really haven't been viewed very much, but they were on my channel at the start. And as obviously the channel grows, the videos get watched more. But some of these are worth going back and just watching the finds. Maybe not the roundups at the end, because some of them were a bit iffy. But the actual finds, the actual hunt, they were good. And some of them are my favourite days out. Right, that's all I'm going to say. If you want to see another one of these videos, stick a comment below. If there's something that you can remember I found and you want to know what it was, how old it was, let me know and I'll feature that. Yeah, if you enjoyed, hit the like and maybe a subscription. And I will try and get out as soon as I can when we're allowed. If not, I'll find something else to do, don't you worry, and I'll see you lot soon.